So there's this group of extraterrestrial government called Omars that is back now. But where are they? Each one of those particular deities you can trace inside of your DNA. You are the Omars, the extraterrestrial government that's rising up. But it's inside of your DNA, and it's worked through magic. Y'all all right?
Yes.
All right. You want to take a break, or you want to...
4 minutes, and then half an hour break, and then we...
Okay, 4 minutes. Okay, so let me just do this, and then we come back, we're going to get down with some serious ritual. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's get down. Let's get busy. Let's see what we got here. Hold on 1 minute. 4 minutes. Okay, hold on 1 minute. See if I find a couple of other overlays to throw on you. This is a great time, I tell you. Here we go. As you know, this is the child Horus, or Heru. And his baby, and he's called Harpocrates. And Harpocrates is also called Hercules. Hercules gets through 2 serpents in his bed, and he kills them. The serpents also represents his serpentine energy. Harpocrates got the child Horus. This is what your baby Jesus. The child Horus, where it comes from. The child Heru or Horus has 2 scorpions in his hand. And it means that he is untouched and can't be destroyed because of his innocence. See, the only thing that destroys you down here is arrogance and ego. Innocence saves your lives. You see what I'm saying? And it humbles you. So because he's innocent, he is protected. Because he doesn't have the interruption of the ego that is blocking his soul out, so that the forces, the elemental forces that has come down here to protect him, won't be able to protect him because of the arrogance that's blocking out. You see what I'm saying? His energies are to his soul, which is the ego, hindering him. He doesn't have that problem because he's innocent. So therefore, the elemental forces will protect him and protect you based on humility. Now, this is the problem why we got a lot of problems with humility. We think that humility is talking about humbling yourself to another human or another principality. They ain't talking about that. Humility is to humble yourself to allow your soul to function on a high level. So you humble yourself to your soul. I, self-Lord and Master Islam. You see what I'm saying? Your soul is the God. You see what I'm saying? That you humble yourself to. Not some being up in the sky. And when you humble yourself to your soul with humility, you allow your soul to start to function on a higher level because it doesn't have the interruption of the ego. You see? So that's why they say you must come as a little child, like a little baby. You see what I'm saying? So, right now I don't have no scruples whatsoever. I have gotten rid of all the things of embarrassment that my ego used to, the pride that my ego used to have. I've gotten rid of all of that type of stuff right now. You see what I'm saying? But if I look, when I was in college and I was wearing them suits, if I looked in the future and see myself with a big gut like this, I probably would have fell out. There would be no way that I could stand before people looking like this. See what I'm saying? And all. But that person has been dead. You know what I'm saying? That person has been dead. And McQueen can tell you, because she saw a mystery, I hardly eat anything. First thing happens is, they talk about this in Buddhism, and I know this to be true. What happens here is you start taking on knowledge. And the more and more knowledge you get, your metabolism will respond to the knowledge the same way it responds to food. That's why you got the Buddha with the big stomach. So what happens, the more food, the more knowledge you get, the more your cells line up, and it responds to it responds to your body just like food. The metabolism does, which responds to the knowledge. So I am fat on knowledge. Wow. of the West. I've been the poet's lecturer on the circuit. I think I was $300 for most of the 90s. Yeah. Now, so anyway, but I'm rich on knowledge. That's the richness, because they say a rich man from the West will come to you. And I realized that was in some Crawley's work, and I realized they were talking about the date. A rich man from the West will come. And they're talking about this particular knowledge and information and stuff, so you don't trade that for the world. But the key here is this particular deity, which is Bes. Now you have to deal with Bes, because Bes is a fairy. He represents the other world, or the quantum world, the fairy kingdom. This is Bes. And so it represents the fairy kingdom. And it's a monster that set over Horus, which is the Christ. But it also, this particular Horus lock represents what is called the Barahadna chakra, which is talking about the inner ear melanin. So Bes, which is over him, is also inside of him. He is the pineal, and he is the active form of melanin, but he's also a fairy. White folks is into fairies. That's some real deal stuff. So, and Bes is a fairy. So white folks, Bes becomes the leprechaun in Ireland. You see, this is the Bes deity, also called the All God, in Egypt. That becomes the leprechaun in Ireland. That's the magical aspect of the fairy kingdom. Of the fairy kingdom. You see, so they're dealing with all of that type. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Look at this. Show you some things here. Let me show you a picture. You ever heard of the you remember everybody saw the movie The Dark Crystal? Everybody saw the movie The Dark Crystal? Let me see what I want to show you something here. The artist from The Dark Crystal did a tarot deck called a fairy tarot deck. And they went and they got this stuff from these. They went and actually drew. They drew into existence on what people could see in the astral world or the fairy world. And they got the artists to come and detail what these people could see in the several worlds. This is a fairy of healing. This is an actual fairy or a spirit of healing that the same artist who worked on the movie Dark Crystals drew. And this is a fairy of healing. So this is how we look outside of the body. This is how we look outside of the body. And this particular entity heals. Well, the god that sets over the fairy in Egypt is Bes. The all god Bes. And as you can see, he's setting over the Christ child Horus over the head. All this is the ancestors. They are called the, I got to get the word, the Kawi, the something in Ghana. When the sister Rosalind Jeffries, which is the wife of a brother named Leonard Jeffries, which is an Afrocentric scholar in New York. Rosalind Jeffries had been going to Africa, going to Ghana since 1959 or something. So she heard my tapes in the early 90s, and in 1994, she went to Africa and started asking them about metaphysical questions. And the people in Ghana pointed to the trees, and she said, Bob, there was little people in the trees. She said, damn, I've been coming here for almost 20-something years at the time, close to 30 years. She said, I've been coming here almost over 30 years. And you ain't never showed me that before. They said, you never asked. Yeah, we're going to show you something and have you running back there, America, you know, all scared and stuff. So, but there was the fairies that was in the tree. That's what I'm talking about, this fairy realm. The shit is happening as we speak. Okay? So, last summer, a sister's on Inner Light Radio. What's the sister name? I know they brought that broadcast over here, Inner Light Radio. Can't think of the sister names right now. Anyway, she was over in Ghana, and they showed her the fairies. And they got a name, they got a book out on, and I got the name is there. So I'll find the name before we leave. They got a name for these particular fairies, these ancestral spirits of the little people. Now they got another sister named Aviva, moved to Ghana, before Christmas of 2007. She came back in February. I'm like, why you back? You moved over there. She said, I was in my room and I saw some little fairy people in Ghana. They told me to take my ass home. Well, this stuff is real. Now, this is the deal. I got a letter from a woman in March that's been living in Ghana. So a lot of what's happening here, a lot of the people from America, a lot of African Americans, when they retire, they get their pension, their Social Security, and they move to Ghana because, you know, Ghana still got that thing where the land set aside for the people who want to return. So they look up and they got a whole community of returning Caribbean and African Americans. So what they did with the Americans, as of January, they done cut up their Social Security, they done cut out their pension, they done cut out everything. Told them, you no longer American citizens, so we don't have to give you shit. You be like, they can't do that, they can do what they want to do. They done cut out this stuff to force them to come back home. So they got all these people over there that done retired, and they got their last checks of anything in January. She called me, she wrote a letter to me saying, we don't know what we're going to do because we got to come back to America. You see what I'm saying? So when the sister was over there, they told her to get out of there because the simple fact, you know, they knew that them checks wasn't coming and they knew some stuff was messing up. Which leads us to this. Okay, this is a brother that used to live on the planet Earth by the name of Sylvester. Anybody ever heard of Sylvester? Yeah. Sylvester, I know Sylvester, let me show you how the spirit world works. Sylvester was murdered by the United States government under the guise of AIDS or AZT for one reason. Naturally, Sylvester was gay. Okay, we understand that. But apparently the government has figured out that they fear a gay black man for some reason. And what had happened was this. Now when I was in college at Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina, we had a gay club up the street that we used to go in fear of walking past because we didn't want nobody on the college campus to see us walking past because the rumor might get out that we was coming out of the club. We used to go in fear of this shit. That homophobia. You see what I'm saying? Now, one day I walked outside because it was up the street in front of the college campus. And I walked out the dormitory and walked out near the front gate of the college campus, and I said, man, and I saw thousands of cars. And I said, what the hell is going on? Who's that? What's up? I said, wait, did the aliens land? I said, I've never seen this many cars in my life. And the security guard said, oh, that's Sylvester performing down the street. And I always remember that. But what it was, the power that this man had over the gay world, the government got concerned about that. Because despite his pathology, he's still a black man. And he got a soul. You see what I'm saying? And they were concerned about that, the power that this man had over white people. And they took him out. But look at this also. Look what the Spirit's showing you. Look how this brother is dressed. Like a damn pharaoh. Like a pharaoh. See, they get channels on people with their magicians and their soothsayer, and all of the people might not know that they are great. They know. They say, this man has got this kind of power, he got to go. See what I'm saying? Now what do they call gay people? Fairies. Sure we want to talk about it. Now, I wouldn't pay this no attention because I'm heterosexual. You see what I'm saying? And I'm heterosexual. And I went to go get a colonic one time, and the woman was like, yo, we got to go real slow with yours. Because your booty hole is almost non-existent. So I ain't built to be no gay person. I could barely get a colonic. I just want to say that, but I want to say that to say this about, I want to preface that because I know y'all Caribbeans, y'all got a certain taboos. You see what I'm saying? More so than other people, except the Jamaicans and stuff like that. So I need to preface what I say so I can get to come back here in the future and don't be branded. I'm aware that I'm talking to the Caribbean family. See, I might be able to get away with some shit in America because they got a whole lot of gay people in the church choir. But see, that might not stick with the Rasta man and all that type of stuff. And I heard y'all got a whole lot of gay people running around Jamaica. You see what I'm saying? But you still put up that front. I want to preface myself when I say this. To say what this about this whole everything and try to find out what's really going on here and why they would kill him and this happened. There was a group of gay guys out of New York City made a movie called Paris is Burning. Might have heard about this movie, saw this movie. It's a movie called Paris is Burning. And they were the ones that invented the Vogue. Remember the Vogue that Madonna and them was doing? The Vogue back in the early part of the 90s? Well, these guys invented the Vogue, and they would do these Vogue contests, and they would sew their clothes up, and they would do these dance choreographers, and as a result, they made a movie called Paris is Burning. Now, I never thought nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? Because it was a gay movie, it took me years to watch it. So I watched it in 2003 on cable one night. The brother named Panic in New York hit me to something. He said, you know all them gay brothers in that movie? He said the government came in and killed every last one of them. I was like, wait a minute, let me get the flag going up here. What is about these guys that the government is so threatened that they'll come in and kill every last one of them? And the deal is this. Now, apparently, what they were afraid of is if you take a gay guy without the sexual thing, what is it? It's a person that's gotten in touch with his feminine side, but then again, on the other hand, but the sexual aspect of that type of thing, you see what I'm saying, with the dookie love thing, you see what I'm saying, is overcompensation. Y'all, listen to me. Now listen. So anyway, I'm just trying to show you how the government works on things and how they study things. Apparently, they look at that and they say these are talented people and they got all this kind of thing. And these particular people, they look at this and they go, wait a minute. They are in fear of certain things that go down for the simple fact that they're always looking for the out of the ordinary. So it's just interesting how they would kill all these particular people up. You see, there was something in them that they saw that they feared. And the whole concept of that is this. Now let's take it out of the gay thing and try to understand the concept of on what the God thing is supposed to be dealing with. We were one entity at one time, and then we were split in two, male and female. So when you look at a female, you are trying to get back something. You're attracted to that female. You're trying to get back something that you lacked or you missed in a time when your entity was one. So as far as they're concerned, that's called the Isis and Osiris drama. So with them, when they see certain things, they react to it. So I just want to make those things awareness of how they was. And so when this brother here put on the Pharaoh's outfit, they took this brother out. You see what I'm saying? Now, for the people, we're going to go to a break. But for the people who was not here before, we have these particular rituals. We got a few left. We got the third eye ritual. And this is, let's see, y'all British money, this is £2.50. And we got the Nephilim ritual, which is this lion deity, that came back to the planet in July of last year. We have his ritual. We also have his picture. The picture is £2.50, and the ritual book has any kind of rituals. This is an actual papyrus that came out of ancient Kemet. And it was sent to me in the mail. It's got metal, and it has the actual translation. But when it was sent to me to the mail, this deity, lion deity, said it was his ritual. So we've been selling these things in the United States, and people have been getting it and being very successful with it. So it's something you get and put aside, and then when it's time for you to go to jail or get foreclosed, you find what is equivalent to what you leave, burn a red candle, and recite the ritual. Very powerful stuff. It's working in the United States. We got good feedback with this thing. So this is some spiritual thing that's going down. And we have all these spiritual pictures up here, some of them that I was showing, and we'll show after we get back. All of those are £2.50, which is equivalent to $5, I guess, in America. You know, yeah. Huh? And utilize the vendor. So we're going to shut down, we'll cut on the light. We got a lot more information. When we come back,
just before we leave, we're going to be moving because there's a lot of people who can't get seats. We're going to be moving to the... We are going to be moving to the next room. It's a lot bigger and everybody will be able to sit down because we are going to be here for a few hours. So there's stuff to eat, there's books and DVDs and whatnot. And when we come back, we're going to be it's up there.
So if anybody...
So bring your chair with you when you're going, and then we're going to be in the bigger room.
So we're going to have to be a little quiet because we got the disco downstairs. What we're going to do is we're going to rattle off a bunch of... how many people got a pencil and a piece of paper? I should have announced on the TV, on the radio, the covered paper and pad. Let me see if I can pass out some paper. Everybody got paper and pencil? Huh? Raise your hand if you need some paper.
So you can pass it around.
Take one and pass it to the person who needs paper. Okay. We'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. First thing first. How many people want to lose weight?
Get late for that.
All right. First ritual up. And obviously I haven't used it. All right. First ritual up. Get you some piece of wax. I don't know where you go buy you some wax, because you're going to have to go through this. And you're going to whittle out a doll the shape or the weight that you want to be. So you're going to whittle you out a doll, get you some wax. You know what that means. Get you a wax. Get you a knife. And you're going to carve a sculpture out of that wax the size you want to be. Now the task is, it's going to take a little while for you to get the wax down to the doll shape. Now you can go and buy a doll, the little wax doll, but that's not the ritual. The ritual is, and where the energy comes from, because the ritual is coming from your melanin. So you want to take a knife or whatever, and you want to sculpture that doll down. I don't care how many days or weeks it takes. You want to sculpture that doll down to the size that you want to be. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's based on your intent and your will. So if you can visualize the size you want to be when you're whittling that dog, it will work. Then you wanna lay that dog